Ladies and gentlemen, now gives me pleasure to invite on stage one of the most recognizable faces in retail, very especially when it comes to women in retail. Please put your hands together and welcome on stage Executive Director and Head DLF Shopping Malls, Pushpa Bector. And with her, I'd also like to invite the Center Head DLF Saket, Mr. Mukt Dogra. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning, everyone. It's almost afternoon. After that beautiful session that we had, must thank Sid. We almost felt like we are sitting in Harvard Business School, which is really nice. You know, what I would like to talk to you about is a bit on how developers have taken the journey forward. Retail really began in this country around 12 to 13 years back, organized retail. We at DLF, we've been kind of fortunate that the retail that we pioneered, and I especially have been fortunate to have been with the retail journey at DLF right from its nascent stage. As you know, we started this journey with Saket, Promenade, Emporio, and I distinctly remember those were the times when the Lehman Brothers crisis struck. The first day I actually entered the mall, which is Promenade, all the retailers walked out on us. They said, we don't believe in retail. There were two ways we could have looked at it. We decided to look at it on a positive spin and turned around that mall, and the rest is history. We got brands like Zara, Marks & Spencer, and quite a few other brands at that point in time, zoned the property for the first time, and retail, as we see it, started taking shape. This was way back in 2008. After that, of course, we pioneered with Cyber Hub, another unique proposition with our curated F&B. And the way we went about Cyber Hub was we treated it really like an anchor to Cyber City. It was, in my opinion, the first well-zoned mixed-use development that we had thought of. The response was so overwhelming that even today, it truly is our best churning destination. We have around 85 restaurants there, all of them doing very well. We are adding some interesting retail today, including Uniqlo, which is going to be opening around the 15th of November at Cyber Hub. Of course, then, the Pierce de Resistance, we opened Mall of India. Mall of India, to us, was what we, as DLF, wanted to showcase what retail can be in this country. We zoned it. It took us, and me personally, around 4 years to put it together. And I must say, I'm most proud of that project because today, it is the most successful retail project in the country. Retail real estate, which is growing. We are talking of recession, but I'm happy to share with you that the brands over there are growing at a rate of around 20% year on year. So with that kind of an experience, we actually decided to look back and see how can we make it even better. A couple of years back, we actually started this journey of phygital, experiential development of apps. So we created Lookout, which is a DLF Shopping Malls initiative of unifying all our properties under this one beautiful app, Lookout. What it does is that it actually gives all consumers at a snapshot the kind of offers, convenience, and us as mall developers, an understanding of how consumers are seeing our properties and brands. So what it really does is that, you know, I always felt when I started my career with DLF that we are more in a B2B space. Frankly, we should be in the B2C space. And the Lookout app is one such initiative which I believe will be an omni-channel initiative from a developer point of view, where we can interact directly with the consumer. Today, we have around 500,000 Lookout users, and it's growing, and we believe it'll hit a million mark very soon. It just shows that consumers today, the more you give them offers and experiences, the more they actually interact with us, and they want to talk, and constantly so. As a part of this whole consumer delight journey, we started asking, what is the new consumer, and who is this new consumer that we are talking about? We have seen the evolution of the consumer from our promenade days to Mall of India, and then we sat back and saw that, we have this beautiful South Delhi property, Saket, which needs an intervention. The consumer delight that we talk about usually is to do with, is the parking all right? Is the housekeeping okay? But we went beyond. At DLF Malls, what we are talking about today is how do we make the consumer experience proximity marketing? How do we make the consumer, the third place should be a DLF property. That would be our endeavor in terms of consumer delight. So we went ahead and actually, over 1 year, decided that we will be shutting down Saket, because Saket as a property had been dated. It was a 10-year-old property. We took that hard decision, and I remember it was the day after Valentine's when we shut it. We are happy to share with you today that we are ready to reopen and delight consumers very, very soon. I'm delighted to share with you that as on 1st November, we are going to be reopening Saket with a new identity, a new way, and a new brand mix. That is going to be the way we believe retail will be looked at in city centers. Who is this consumer? Consumer today, all our research told us that the consumers today are those who are younger, especially in the city center properties like around South Delhi, Saket, Promenade. They've become younger. The consumer gender mix, very interestingly, used to be female skewed earlier. Now we are seeing it's a 50-50 ratio between male and female consumers. And more importantly, these are consumers who are culturally connected. They are millennials. They are also people who are highly traveled. They're evolved. They want more. They truly embody the new India that we all believe is here to stay. So the consumers who are fast evolving, for them, experiences matter the most. What matters is that they want to feel important. They want personalization. And we, in our new project, we believe that we will be giving them an experience which will make them feel special. And it is all about quality over quantity. At a deeper psychographic level, this globally aspirational consumer, they're staying connected constantly, like we heard from Darshan and we heard from, Sid. Omni-channel retailing is here to stay. What else is here to stay is also authenticity and integrity. This generation is seeking authentic experiences. They do not want to have a Me Too product which makes them feel that they're just aping the West. Today, India, the new India that we see, the consumers and Indians as we are, looking at the way we dress, the way we experience our weekends, the way we are going to our workspaces, we are looking for that authenticity. And at the new Saket, this authenticity is what we have dwelt at. Unfortunately, within Delhi, and I'm talking about Delhi here, there are very few spaces which are actually catering to this. There is a dearth of space because we are landlocked. And in Delhi, as you know, it's a tough one to create new spaces. The governmental regulations are pretty strict. we scanned the entire city and found that there is a dearth of spaces which offer great food and beverage experiences, great retail experiences, and most importantly, fabulous social experiences. I believe Khan Market is one organic market that grew, which endeavored to sort of tackle this issue. And it is the most expensive real estate today in India. We also feel that in South Delhi especially, and all metros, community spaces are very few and far between. Darshan here was telling a few minutes back that malls are the spaces where people go for air conditioning as well as parking, and also they just feel that that is a community space that they can all hang out in. But are we, as mall developers, catering to that? Are we actually catering to developing that community? So for Saket, we are endeavoring that in a very, very different manner. We decided that this is the time that there is a DLF intervention through culture, community, and curation. What do we mean by this? What we mean by this is to reclaim a community space that South Delhi can clearly call its own. We are heading towards creating a space where the neighborhood is the market. And people will start feeling that that's their third space. That's their second home. And that's the kind of city center spaces that we believe holds future. And it actually resonates with what Sid was just mentioning a few minutes back on creating spaces which are community-centric, creating spaces which are social-centric, and which are authentic, and brands are those which they are familiar, and they also feel an integrity associated with those brands. We are redefining this project as a holistic experiential destination. It is the place to go back to hang out. And we've actually created a space which is going to be differentiated in so many ways. I would like to, at this stage, welcome my colleague, Muk Dogra, who is the center head for DLF Place Saket. And he will be announcing the next few steps. Go on, Muk.
Thank you very much. Thank you, ma'am. So when we set about looking at intervening with the space and the industry as it is in terms of the mall, three aspects came out very strongly. The mandate was clear: build spaces that are communal, that resonate with culture, and that can be curated in such a manner that it will be appreciated, considering the fact that what Mr. Darshan said a little while back as well, that that's the place, that's a go-to place, the mall today in Delhi. So what we did think about was we had our work cut out. We decided to get onto the architectural board in design and to start curating such spaces which would make it meaningful for people to hang around rather than just look for air conditioning and parking. And that engagement model is what we set about doing. Towards this, DLF, the asset at Saket will provide seamless focused shopping, will provide tasteful, fulfilling dining, and importantly, memorable social experiences. Not just a mall, but a modern day neighborhood. Specifically, that a lot of millennials, as we did a real study, go to these, the digital spaces are where they go to for finding community. What if the community was brought to them in their physical space all over again? And that's exactly what they're craving for. And so a place that brings the community together by offering focused, curated, shopping, an unrivaled food and beverage district, and an inspired cultural experience that will become a social currency for them to belong and to trade with and to transact in.
So at DLF, we don't just believe in, of course, developing neighborhoods, but we also believe in authentically interacting with the community. What did we do differently? Would you move on to the next slide? We've actually created a mall which is unmalled. We would like to say that today it is a space which is going to have the first co-working space within that property. WeWorks is going to be part of that project. It is a space which is going to have 38% of the space dedicated to food and beverage. We will have clearly the most curated food and beverage that so far Delhi has seen. We'll have 30 of them, and it'll also be food and beverage in a complete zone starting from the ground floor. Usually in malls, including our own, we've also always dedicated F&B in the second floor or in the third floor. Here we've actually brought it down to the ground floor and curated it upwards. So these 30 F&B spaces are going to be the ones which are going to be the social spaces, the hangout space. Along with that, the differentiation is also the ethnic infusion zone that we have curated. Around 12% of the space is dedicated to ethnic infusion. As you can see, made in India products today are here to stay. We have believed, we've seen that they are growing day after day. I see in the malls in Promenade, be it in Mall of India, the growth of these spaces are higher than many of the other brands. We've also chosen some selected international brands to be curated. So I think collectively, this is going to be a very, very different mall mix. It's unmalled. We've created a neighborhood which we believe is here, and which we also believe is going to be a space that we as DLF will be very proud of. We have a small video here to unveil the logo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DLF Avenue. It's opening soon on the 1st of November. We encourage you to start moving in and creating the best spaces that Delhi will be proud of. After Chanakya, it's DLF Avenue. Thank you.